What the next topic is database transactions. Database transactions. So what is database transaction? A transaction is a what the definition is? Transaction is a unit of work that contains one or more DMLs. Transaction is a work. What is the work means here? Work means what, sir? One or more DML. Sometimes one DML or sometimes more DML. Sometimes one DML or sometimes what, sir? Sometimes multiple DMLs. Sometimes one DML or sometimes what? Multiple DMLs. So it is a work that contains one or more DMLs and must be okay. So example, like you take money withdrawal. You take what, sir? Money withdrawal. You take money withdrawal. If you take money withdrawal, okay, when you do money withdrawal, background update command is executed. When you do money withdrawal, background what? Update is executed. So the transaction contains one DML. You take money deposit. That money deposit also one transaction. When you do money deposit, background update is executed. When you do money transfer, so background two updates are executed. One update will detect the amount from source account. Another update will add the amount to the target account. That will, okay. So that's why I said contains one or more DML. Sometimes one DML or sometimes multiple. Okay. Then, but if it is one or more, that is treated as what, sir? That must be treated as one unit. That must be treated as what? One unit. So that contains one or DMLs and must be saved as a whole. Must be saved as a whole or must be cancelled as a whole. Must be saved as a whole or must be cancelled as a whole. Okay, what is the meaning? Must be saved as a whole, must be cancelled as a whole. That means all must be what's saved and all must be what cancelled. All must be saved and all must be cancelled. Okay, then must be saved as a whole, must be cancelled as a whole. Either all must be saved or all must be cancelled. What is the meaning? Like let's take example. I'm taking this money transfer only. So money transfer means transferring amount from account 1 to account 2. How much I'm transferring is 1000. Okay, account 1 to account 2. So transferring 1000 rupees from account 1 to account 2. How this is implemented? Suppose like here there are two updates. Update 1, next one update 2. Update 1, update 2. Update 1 equal to balance minus 1000. What is update 2? Balance equal to balance plus 1000. So first update will detect the amount from source account. Second update will add the amount to the target account. The first update will detect the amount from source and the second update will add the amount to the target account. Okay, detecting from source and adding it to the target. Suppose first update is successfully executed, but the second update is failed. Then what? This is valid or invalid? Huh? Invalid. Because money detected from source, but money is not added to the target account. This is fail. This is what? Successful. Then this is what? Invalid. This is invalid. Money detected from source account, but money is not added to the target account. This is what? Invalid. Money is lost or not? Yes. In both cases, money is lost. In first case, customer lose the amount. Second case, bank lose the amount. In first case, what? Who is losing the amount? If this is the case, who lose the amount? Bank. If this is the case, who lose the amount? Bank. Bank. In the first case, customer. First case, what? Customer. Second case, what? Bank. So in both cases, like money is lost. Suppose this is successful, then this is successful, then this is successful, then this is what set, hmm? This is valid, then this is what, both are fail, then no problem. Okay, na? Both are fail also, no problem. Both are successful also, no problem. But when problem comes, one successful, one fail, then problem comes. That is the meaning of must be saved as a whole or must be cancelled as a whole. Whole means all. What is the meaning? All must be saved, all must be cancelled. All are saved, no problem. All are cancelled also, no problem. But one is saved, one is cancelled means problem comes. So that is the definition of transaction. Okay, then understood now? So, and every in database, every transaction guarantees a property, must guarantee a property. Every transaction must guarantee a property called atomicity. Every transaction must guarantee a property called what's that? Atomicity. Atomicity means what? All or none. Every transaction must guarantee a property called atomicity. Atomicity means all or none. Either all must be done or all must be none done. All must be done or all must be not done. If all are done, no problem. All are not done, no problem. Okay, that is what all are none. Okay, what is the meaning? If transaction contains what? If transaction contains what's it? Multiple operations. If all operations are successfully completed, if all are completed, okay, if all operations are completed, then it must be, what? Saved. If all operations are completed, if all operations are successful, then if all are successful, then it must be what, sir? Saved. If one of the operation fails, if one of the operation what, sir? Fails, then entire transaction must be what? Cancelled. If all operations are successful, it must be saved. If one of the operation fails, then entire transaction must be cancelled. Either it should be saved or it should be cancelled. Okay, when we save, you came to know that all are successfully completed, then save it. You came to know that one is successful, one is failed, then cancel it. Yes or no? So that means if transaction is there, either you have to save it or you have to cancel it. Either you save or you cancel. When we save, all are successfully completed, save it. When we cancel it, one successful, one failed. So then the following commands, what? The following commands provided by SQL Server to handle the transaction. The following commands provided by SQL Server to handle what's a transaction called TCL commands. What are these commands are called? TCL. Provided by SQL Server to handle transaction called TCL commands. What are the TCL commands? One is what, sir? Commit. One is what? Rollback. One is what? Save transaction. Okay. Then commit, rollback, and what, sir? Save transaction. Okay, na? Then. So when we commit is for what? Commit is for to save transaction. Rollback is for rollback. Rollback is for to cancel transaction. And save transaction to cancel what's a part of the transaction. To save transaction, to cancel transaction, to cancel part of the transaction. That's three. Commit, rollback, save transaction. Okay. How to handle the transaction means then. So when we save it, all are completed successfully, then commit. One successful, one failed, then roll back. Okay. Then. So Now, every transaction has a begin point and an end point. And an end point. A transaction has what's it? A transaction has a begin point and what's it? End point. When it begins, when it ends. When it begins, when it ends. Okay, na? So every transaction has begin point, end point. Like in suppose if you case what, for example, ATM, you insert the card, enter the insert the card. Next one, select money withdrawal. So when you select money withdrawal, then transaction what begins. Enter the amount, enter the PIN number, you'll get the cash. That is called endpoint. You go to online payment. You want to do online payment. Suppose you select payment, then it will give the options. Payment. When you click payment, transaction begins. Next one, you can select debit card, credit card, UPI payment like that. So select debit card or something. Then enter the what? Okay, na? OTP. Suppose you receive the OTP, enter the OTP. Next one. So money is deducted from your account. That is called endpoint. So every transaction has what? A begin point, what's that? End point. But when it comes to SQL server, when it begins in SQL server, in SQL server, in SQL server, a transaction begins implicitly. Implicitly with what's it? A transaction begins implicitly with DML. Okay, na? DML. What is the DML? Insert, update, what's her? Delete. So a transaction begins implicitly with DML command and ends implicitly with what's it? With ends implicitly with commit. Starts automatically, ends automatically with commit. That means suppose, for example, here I submit one update command, update EMP, set commission equals to 500, where employee number equal to some 7369. So I write this update command. I write this update. When I write this update command, then when I write this update command, so what happens is background, a transaction what's that begins and it's updated and ends with what's that commit. So when you submit update command, background. So three, what are the three? One is transaction what's that? One is what transaction what's that begins. Then the row is what's that updated. Next one, transaction what's that ends with what commit. Like that's all. If you write update command, background it begins updated plus ends the transaction with commit. Okay, then. So every time transaction ends with what, sir? Commit. Always ends with what? Commit. But I don't want to always end with commit. Sometimes I want to end with commit. Sometimes I want to end with what, sir? Rollback. You understood? So here always starts implicitly, ends implicitly with what? Commit. Suppose by mistake I deleted the row. I want to cancel that, delete. You cannot cancel because it's already what? Already committed. Okay, already committed. So you cannot cancel it. That's why what SQL server says, listen, okay, na? What SQL server says, sir, what SQL server says, if you start the transaction, then you end with commit. If you start the transaction, you end. If SQL server starts, it always ends with commit only. Understood? If SQL server starts, always it ends with commit. But if you start, then you can end with commit or rollback. Okay, then. So then, like, see, user can also begin transaction. User can also begin transaction by executing a command. By executing what's it? Command. What is that command? Huh? By executing a command. What is that command? Begin transaction. A user can also begin transaction by executing begin transaction command and ends and ends transaction. What's that? Ends transaction either by commit or rollback. Either by commit or rollback. Ends transaction either by commit or rollback. Sir, if it starts implicitly, it ends with commit always. But if you start transaction, how to start the transaction? Begin transaction. If you start the transaction, you got the chance to either end with commit or rollback. If you want to end with commit, you can end with commit. If you want to end with rollback, you can end with rollback. But if SQL server starts always, it ends with commit. Sir, yes or no? Okay. Then let's take suppose example. Okay, na? Then example one. Let's see. What I'm doing is I'm creating a table. Create table A integer. What is A? Table name. What is this A? Column name. This says what? Table name. This says what, sir? Column name. Next one. Insert into A values 10. Insert into A values 10. Okay, na? I'm inserting the row. Next one. 20. Next one. 30. 30. Okay. So 10, 20, 30. Next one. 40. Next one. Finally, what I did. So I just what's that? Roll back. Then tell me what happens. What are saved? What are cancelled? Suppose these commands are given. They're asking which are saved, which are cancelled. Okay, na? All operations are committed. Implicitly committed. Create table is executed. Implicitly committed. Insert 10 is executed. Implicitly insert 20 is executed. Commit is insert 30 committed. Insert 40 committed. Rollback is doing anything? No. Already operations are committed. So rollback is not doing anything. No use. But suppose, for example, this is my command. What is my command is begin transaction. Now tell me now. Begin transaction, insert 10, 20, 30, 40, rollback. Now tell me what? Huh? Which are saved, which are cancelled? Sorry. Which are saved, which are cancelled? All are rollback. Hmm? See, this is the commands given. Now you tell me which command are saved, which commands are cancelled. So create table. Table is what, sir? Created. Table is saved or cancelled? Create table is saved or cancelled? Saved. How? Because it's not there in transaction. It is outside the transaction. It is outside. This is the transaction now. Create table is outside the transaction. If it is outside the transaction, operations are cancelled. If it is outside the transaction, operations are auto committed. It is outside, boss. It is not inside the transaction. It is outside. That means auto committed. That means this create table is auto committed. So this is what's it? Implicitly committed. Next one, insert begin transaction. When you say begin transaction, what's it? Begins. Let's say T1. What is T1 is transaction name. Begin transaction means transaction starts. Next one, insert 10, insert 10, insert 20, insert 30, insert 40. So then, so all these four commands belongs to what? T1. All these four operations belongs to T1. Next one, roll back. After uh, T1 contains how many operations? T1 contains how many operations? Four operations. Insert 10, insert 20, insert 30, insert 40. Next one, roll back. Then transaction, what's that? Ends. Rollback. Transaction ends. When transaction ended with what's a rollback? If transaction ends with rollback, then it is called. So transaction is ended with rollback. Then what happens? T1 is cancelled. If T1 is cancelled means operations in T1 also cancel. T1 is cancelled means operations performed by T1 is cancelled. What are the operations in T1? 10, 20, 30, 40. All these inserts are cancelled. Create table is cancelled or not cancelled? Not cancelled because it's outside the transaction. If something is outside the transaction means implicitly committed. Yes or no? That. Okay. You want to test, you can test. So let me run these commands. Now create table, but check table is there or not. Drop table A. If table is already there, dropping the table. Okay. Then so drop table A. Like table is not there. Okay. Create the table. So table is created. After creating the table, just see the table. Select start from A. After creating, see the table. Go and see the table. Select start from A. Nothing is there because inserts are cancelled, but create table is not cancelled. Yes or no? Next one. Okay. Then next. So suppose let's take example 2. Example 2. Then for example, then I'll say commit. Next rollback. Then now tell me what. Hmm? 10, 20 is what? Save. 30, 40 is rollback because of rollback. Yes. Okay. Na? That's why what you see commit and rollback and you give the answers, but don't see only commit and rollback. What you have to check where the transaction is started, where it is ended. That is important. Where transaction is started, where it is ended. That if you know that, then easily can answer. So create table A. Then this is what's it? Implicitly committed. Implicitly what's it? Committed. Implicitly committed because it's outside. Then begin transaction. Transaction what's it? Starts. Let's say T1. Insert 10 belongs to T1. Insert 20 also belongs to T1. This is what's it? Transaction what ends. Transaction is ended with what's it? Commit. That means these two operations are what? Saved. Next one, insert 30. Insert 30 is what? Have you see here one transaction is started here, one it ended here. Here it is started, here it is ended. Next, insert 30. Insert 30 is what's it? Insert 30 is what? Implicitly committed. That means it is inside the transaction, outside. Inside the transaction, outside. Outside. Outside means implicitly committed. So this is also implicitly what? Implicitly committed. If this rollback is doing anything, no. This rollback is doing anything, no. Actually, this command gives what's a error. Why? Because you are trying to what? End transaction without starting. Rollback, giving rollback means you are trying to end, but you are trying to end the transaction, but you are not started. You haven't started. You are not started, but you are trying to end. Then it gives what? Error. Started here, here it is started, here it is ended. Yes or no? Here it is started, here it is ended. But without starting, you are trying to end. There is no transaction is started. Without starting the transaction, you are trying to end the transaction. Then what is this command gives? This command gives what's it? Error. Yes or no? Let's see. So then drop table A. So table is dropped. Now create the table. Table is created. See that after creating, see that rollback transaction request has no corresponding begin transaction. This rollback request is not having corresponding begin transaction. Understood? Yeah, that's all. Okay. So because here, if you see this, you think this is committed, this is rolled back. If you see commit and roll back, you'll give the answer like this. But if you check where it is begin, where it is ended, then you can like easily can find out. Okay. Then after commit, suppose then, for example, if I give like this, example 3, example 3. So suppose here, then here what's that? Again, I said what? Begin trans. Now tell me what happens. Here it is started. Here it is ended with commit. That means 10, 20 are saved. Here it is started. 30, 40 are inserted. Roll back. That means 30, 40 are what, sir? Cancel. 30, 40 are cancel. Yes or no? 10, 20 are what, sir? Saved. 30, 40 are what, sir? Cancel. That's all. Okay. Then. So let's see. Drop table A. Then next one. Create the table. Now let's see this here. Then see the table. See the table. Select star from what's that? A. Select star from A. Then you see this 10, 20 is there, but 30, 40 is not there because 30, 40 is cancelled. Understood now? Then that's all. So this is what where it starts, where it ends. If ends with commit, then what? Ends with rollback, then what? Okay. So if transaction ends with what? If transaction ends with commit, then it is called successful transaction. Successful transaction, and operations are what? Saved. If transaction ends with what? Ends with rollback, then it is called aborted transaction. It is called aborted transaction. And operations are what? Cancel. If ends with commit, then it is successful. Operations are saved. If ends with rollback, then it is called aborted and operations are cancelled.